Hi, this is part two of how Kyle and I ended up getting married. So I had ended it because he was blaming me for a whole bunch of things, yet it was his fault. He was taking his guilt out on me because he was smoking behind my back. And I couldn't take that. Like, who are you to start blaming me for something that you did? And I started to move on. And 2 weeks later, Kyle ended up showing up to my parents' place. And he wanted me back. He showed up before I even got home from work. And basically, I walked into a fight between him and my mom, which then rolled into a fight between my mom and I, and me getting kicked out of my parents' house. And I had nowhere else to go except to move back in at his parents' place. I literally felt like I had no other option but to go back to him, because he told me he loved me, he wanted me. My own parents kicked me out of the house, so where else did I have to go? So I went back to him. And a couple months after that, I used my life savings to buy a house. I was an idiot and put his name on it too, despite the fact that he did not contribute a penny to the down payment or legal fees or anything. It was all my hard-earned money to purchase this house. Now, at this point, I'd seen him through several jobs. He had an issue staying at auto body shops because he was so angry all the time. He blamed other people. This was going wrong at this shop. This was going wrong at that shop. I was having issues with this person or this employer. He would always go back to the one shop eventually, but I supported him through it. I was doing what I was supposed to do as a partner. And so when we moved in, he had made a trip to go get a bunch of boxes and stuff while I was putting things away at the house. And he stepped in through the front door and he proposed to me in the entranceway of our first home. And I said yes. I felt like he loves me. Why not? He says he loves me. I felt like I loved him. So I said yes. And that started planning our wedding. We ended up waiting, I think it was about a year and a half before we ended up having our wedding. It was a busy year because his brother got married and a friend of ours got married. It was a wonderful day. It was a beautiful September day. Nothing went wrong. Everything was perfect. The week before the wedding, I thought I was pregnant. I had just gotten off the pill and I figured, you know what, if it happens, it happens. Our honeymoon wasn't special. Kyle, because he was jumping from one job to another, he didn't have any vacation time or time off or anything. So 2 weeks after the wedding, we just did a weekend in a cabin in a provincial park close by. And just did some us time. And since it was hunting season, I figured, you know what, I have vacation time, so I'm going to Florida to see a family friend of mine. And I flew there and I was there for 9 days. Wonderful 9 days. It was so nice to be there. It's been several years since I've been, and I miss her dearly. She is an honorary Mimi to my kids. But while I was down there, the day before I ended up flying back, I had this feeling I needed to take a pregnancy test, and sure enough, I was pregnant with our son. So when I came home, I surprised him with the news, and he actually came home early that day from work, which surprised me, with flowers. He didn't do that very often, and especially after we were married, those gifts started happening less and less. Mother's Day, I never really got gifts, despite the fact that I always got something that he needed. I always showed how much I cared. He never had to worry about groceries or deodorant or shampoo or any of that stuff, because I always knew what stuff he liked, and kept an eye out for sales, and I always stocked up for him. I did basically all the cooking, because the most that he knew how to cook was pizza pops or pizza in the oven. He did most breakfasts. He loved to do scrambled eggs and hash browns and bacon and that stuff. But that's about the extent of the cooking that he really did, unless it was barbecuing, but that still didn't happen too often. He was a pretty good dad when our son came. He was around quite a bit. I think he was proud to have a son. But when it came to having our daughter, he got really distant. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I was committed. I was in a trauma-bonded relationship at that point. Between both of my pregnancies, I spent a lot of time sleeping on a couch, because I would try and express how he was making me feel, what I was going through, which always resulted in a fight. And I would get so frustrated, or I'd get scared and I'd walk away, and Kyle would just go to sleep. He didn't give a flying F about me or what I was going through. He would just go to sleep. He didn't care if I was sleeping on the couch. He sometimes said sorry. Sometimes we just had to kind of move on. But I felt trapped. I felt like I had nowhere else to go. And this guy kept on claiming that he loved me, that he wanted to be with me. So who was I to question that? The fights happened more and more the longer we were in our relationship. Locking myself in rooms and bathrooms and hiding places just to get away to... And of course, our dog Rambo was always right by my side, concerned about me. Now that I'm out, I look back and think what an idiot I was. But to be honest, I don't regret anything, because I wouldn't have my two amazing kids, who are my whole entire world. And I wouldn't change a thing, because then I wouldn't have them. So that's just a quick little story to kind of tell what happened prior. Aside from that, I'm going to continue with my videos explaining what I had gone through before we ended up separating, and then through the separation and the divorce and after the divorce. I can guarantee you it's crazy. It gets crazier and crazier the longer it goes on. But thank you for listening to me so far. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and that you stay safe and enjoy life to the fullest. Thank you. Bye.